Hello, Marcus Bronzy here from How to Kill an Hour, and today we are having an exclusive look at a brand new product from Mevo, who have recently been acquired by Logitech. A few years ago, Mevo came up with a great idea, a wide-angle lens 4K camera with some cool software that meant you could punch in and get a multicam kind of look. Great for people who do podcasts like us here at How to Kill an Hour. We had a go with it, great stuff. Now, a few years later, the original Mevo has been retired. We have had the Mevo Start. People have been asking the question, when are you going to let us use more than one Mevo at the same time, Mevo? Now, Mevo have replied with this, the Mevo Start 3-pack. And today, we're going to unbox it. Welcome to What's in the Box. Before we get into it, this shiny plastic covered box, I have not been in it at all. Let's have a look and see what the exterior is like. So on the outside, we can see 3 Mevo Starts. So in the box, you get 3 Mevo Start cameras, 3 6.5-foot USB-C to A cables, 1 microfiber lens cloth, and a quick start guide. Also, you can stream and record via Wi-Fi, LTE or 4G, 5G here, SD card, or use Ethernet cables as well, or Ethernet cables as well to connect these all up. Because, hey, wired still wins in my books, okay? You can mount it on a thread, which I'll show you more about in just a sec, an 84-degree diagonal field of view, a 76-degree horizontal field of view, and an 8-element lens. It's got a Sony sensor in it, which is a 1080 back-illuminated HDR sensor, and you can record H.264 HEVC recordings, 1080p, 25 or 29.97 or 30 frames per second. In terms of the ports, you've got a 3.5 audio jack, USB-C and micro SD slot. The audio jack, no doubt, is used to help you feed in some better quality audio because we all know onboard mics never perform as well as mics that are external. Hence this I'm wearing here. It has a nice diagram showing you how you can use the Mevo to get different angles, because a cool thing is yeah, punching in on a single wide shot is great, like punching in here, punching in there, punching here, but to get different angles like this, you need different cameras. Or like this, you need different cameras. Gives it a bit more of a dynamic look. There you go. And that's what Mevo are trying to say we can do with this 3-pack. So you can currently stream to Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, LinkedIn streaming, Vimeo, live stream, RTMP, which is just like independent outputs. So yeah, it shows you the wireless streaming up to 1080p HD. Remote control with the Mevo multicam app. Advanced onboard audio. And 6 hours of battery life, which means you can stream for 6 hours with each of them. That sounds great. Oh, you can have power and a reliable wired network over a single cable. So there's actually a single cable setup for it where you have a special lead which turns into Ethernet and USB-C at the same time. And it's a nice little diagram showing how a nice setup for it would be. That would be a wide shot there. And that would be 2 shots there, getting the up close and personals. And as well as that, Mevo have given us an actual diagram of it as well. That's how it'd look on a mobile phone. And we're about to find out if that's how it looks on a mobile phone. Oh, yeah. All right, what's next? Is it a slidey? It is a slidey. Oh, more good Mevo branding. A very red box. Shall lift. Woo! 1, 2, 3. 3 Mevo Starts. So they're all the same, but I'll pluck one out so we can just give it a once over. So at the front, we have the lens. Then we have this bit here, which is a light. It would be good to know which camera was live if you were switching between cameras, which I believe this may be. On the top, we have the great onboard audio and the improved onboard audio, which I'm always going to be biased and say, hey, get outboard audio. This is the threaded bottom with adapters for you to use on, I can't remember the sizes if I'm honest, big screwies and little screw tops. I will get that written in text on the screen so we make sure that that's an accurate number. On the top we've got the power button, got the 3.5mm jack in, and we have the USB-C and SD card reader at the bottom. Micro SD to be clear. All right, then we'll get these out. Oh, it's the same. It's like Jenga. Right, so these are all, I'm gonna presume these are all the same. So we'll move those out to the side. And then this is the massive USB-A to USB-C lead. So yeah, that's everything that's in the box, I guess. Well, let's double check. We've got some instructions in here as well. Welcome to Mevo. Weird color this though, not red. Oh, and a little clothy cam. And then you scan for your quick start guide, which is pretty much what I'm gonna do next. So what I'll do is, instead of me using a different multicam setup, I'm gonna set up these Mevos, press record, and show you what they look like. We'll use the onboard sound and we'll do some outboard sound as well. So here we are, we've got the Mevo multicam app. I've set everything up. Basically, I've set up a network in here, which is called Bronzy, and that's what all the cameras connect to. It's very easy. It's just a step-by-step guide where you kind of just select the right internet connection, and once you've selected one camera and connected it, the other ones actually do save the settings, making it easy to connect. But now I've just powered on the cameras, put them in place, and the reason I sound a little bit different is because I've actually hooked in my Rode mixing desk, plugged in my nice microphone, because this is kind of how I do a live stream setup. If I did have another adapter, I'd plug my lapel mic into my desk. No doubt audio files would be going, you can't do that. If you hook it and crook it, you can. But I thought, why not just plug in a nice microphone right now? So anyway, these are the cameras all showing. You can choose which order you actually connect to first, and that means that makes them show up in different positions in the app. So I'm gonna select the camera with the last letter 6, and then the next one with the last letter H, and then the next one with the last letter R. And then I'm gonna select start streaming. As you can see, we've got wide cam, cam B, and overhead cam, similar to what we had in our unboxing. And if you look cheekily, you can see just at the top, right here, you can see the Rodecaster Pro. There you go. So let's go through each of these settings one by one. On the left here, top left, you have the audio setting, where that's the audio that comes out of the iPad. I'm using an iPad, by the way, to connect. So if you unmute this, audio comes out of the iPad, and if you haven't got any headphones connected, you'll hear this. I don't know if you're hearing that. Hello. Hello. There you go, it's come through. Then next up you have the record button. You've got various record options. You can record to your device at different quality. So you have 720p in this beta version of the app. You have 480p and 360. By the way, if anything freezes, this is a beta version of the app, so bear with me. You can also record angle backups to all Mevo SD cards. So that means is the top where it says record to device, that records the edits all in. And then the record angle backups to all Mevo SD cards records separate angle backups. If you have a card in each camera, it means you have separate backups at a higher quality if you want. At the moment, it's 1080, 720, 480, or 360, but that's great, which means you can do multicam edits at a later date. I like that. Warning though, if you change the settings, all the cameras will reconnect. But I like the fact that you can have, a higher bit rate and a higher quality stereo audio, or a lower one if you wanted. I'd always go for the highest though, just in case. And it also shows you a little bit lower down which of the Mevos have SD cards and which don't. So as you can see, the wide WR, is that the wide? It's the overhead, whichever one it is, has got 128 gigabyte card in it, and it's got 84 filled up, and it also lets you know how long you can record for. That's great. You select live. You can choose from Facebook, YouTube, or Vimeo. Apparently in the future you'll be able to stream from LinkedIn and a few other places. Like I said at the start of this video, that should come in the future. Again, 480 and 360. Nowhere to select 720 at the moment because this is the beta version. And then you log in. And then you can also record as you log in as well. I'll give you an example of a YouTube. There's a YouTube restriction after 8th of whatever, 2020 means you can't stream unless you've got 1,000 followers. Not a problem for us. But please do like and subscribe if you're just following us now. You can set up a new YouTube event here where you can have an event description, set the privacy date and time. You can log out and then go live when you're ready. This little arrow here just next to the live button, it shows you the input bit rate and the free space that you have. And I believe this is with reference to the iPad, because the iPad I'm using, a little bit old, definitely hasn't got much memory on it. So there you go there. And that's the input bit rate of the cameras that we're using. And I'll get back to that in just a second. But let's go into the settings for one camera. So if I press the 3 little dots on the wide, you can make image adjustments, which are very similar to Mevo's of past, where you can suggest the lighting output. There you go, it's quite flat. You can have vivid, sepia. You can change all of those settings there. You can play with those. You can also get into your custom settings as well, where you can turn your HDR on and off. And you have camera mode where you have auto, shutter. You can change the shutter speed. You can have a full manual setup. I'm a big fan of auto at this stage in my life. You can adjust your white balance, your brightness, your contrast. You can really dig deep. You can use flip, which is important. If you stay with me, I'll just show you where flip is cool. I'll select this overhead shot. This actually has got flip on it because if I don't have flip on it, if I turn it off, it looks upside down, which ain't cool. I want it to look the right way up for the purposes of this shot right now. So there you go, that's flip off. Anyway, I'll just go back to the settings that I was talking about. You can also just shutter speed, ISO, white balance, saturation, meter, the flip it, said EIS, anti-flicker as well if you find that you've got fluorescent lightings, and your exposure metering. So you can really dig deep into your manual settings if you wish. If you don't wish to, you don't have to. All right, again, select this. You can also adjust the Mevo settings from here. So you can format the SD card, change the camera name. I might want to call this wide because it's a wide camera. You can set a password, so you can only access this with a password as well. When your Mevo is not connected to the multi-cam as well, you can tap the power button so that it records to the SD card, which is a nice setting. System sounds you can adjust if you don't want them to beep. The status light, which is a light on the front of it, which is great. When you're actually recording, there's a little light on the front of the Mevo, and it goes red, corresponding with which camera is live at the time, which I think is pretty cool. Then you have the status light brightness as well, and the brightness at the back of the lights too. Power external USB devices, you can set it to do that. You can power on and off with a USB cable, which I believe if you got it hardwired into a system, you can have it so when you turn off the USB, all of the cameras turn off as well, which is nice. And then auto turn off after 15 minutes of them not being used, which I think is always good to save juice. Crop and zoom. Again, this flips into landscape, so I'll flip this over and edit. You can see this is very similar to what you would have in the Mevo app of past. So here you can use your 2 fingers to crop in there. You can move as well, and then you'll see in your main window, flip that back over, we've got a cropped image there. You can come out of that very easily. Crop and zoom. Again, I've got to flip the iPad over, but I guess they're going to adjust that in the beta, in the better versions that we get in the future that are not beta, should we say. The next we have got remove. Just remove the camera. Just get rid of it fully. Don't want to do that at the moment, so I'll keep that there. Might be good if you want to reorder your cameras too. So that's it for those settings. The bottom right, this plus sign just brings you back to finding the camera, or you can add assets like graphics as well. So you can add like a full screen overlay where you can add your, so let's have test over. You can change the color of the text, black or white. You can have the direction of it. You can have the alignment of it. So I'll just have it center. The background color as well. Let's pick pink. The color opacity and the background image as well. You can just select a random image and have that there too, which is a great way of creating graphics on the fly. So there you go. There's my test over. I'll just pop that over, tap it, tap it on, tap it, tap it off. So I could be editing my stuff, and then I can just have test over on, switch camera, take it off. And I've given you a little bit of transparency so you can see what I've done there. But if I give it the full capacity, give it the full minimum opacity there you go. Do that. I could switch camera, and now you switch. It's a nice way to switch between cameras. I like it. Next along, we can add graphics wise. You can add a lower third. Same here. I'll just put test in here. You can there choose where you have it, left, right, top, bottom. Again, I think, you know, it'd be great if Mevo added extra to this in the future. There you go. That's the test bottom. There you go. You can select them, tap in them. Let's see what other graphics we've got. Over the shoulder, which looks like it's an overlay that don't. All right, so it's a bit of a bigger one there. There you go. Bosh, bosh. Then we have a corner bug, which I like. It would be cool for like little pictures. So let's find a little picture here of biscuits. Please don't crash. Oh, it crashed on me. Told you to bear with. The biscuits were too strong for it. But like I said, this is a beta version, so bear with. But you can see how easy it is to connect. Let's disconnect that. See how easy it is to connect once you're set up. I'm connecting in the wrong order. I want to connect in the right order. I think it's a slightly different order. Don't get upset with me if I look a little bit different. So graphics. Let's try that corner bug again. All right, picture in my fingers. Let's see if that works. All right, we're back in after the crash. It happens. Well, it looks like the app isn't playing ball today, but a little corner bug is just like a little image we can pop in the corner, a little graphic we can pop in the corner. And that, you know, is another great effect. Here we have, so by pressing the little folder button with the play button, that adjusts my folders. Here again, once again, you can see all the graphics are here. And then here there's also an audio adjustment as well, where you can choose the audio that comes in to the camera when you're recording with it. At the moment, this is showing that I'm recording everything that happens on the desk. I'm just going to stop that. So it shows you that I'm getting audio coming in from the camera that is actually connected to the road. If I connect to another camera, hello, hello, hello. You hear a much more kind of roomy sound. Also loads of echo as well. But yeah, I've switched back again now. So we're good. And in this other setting, the 3 dots here, you can. Oh, just turn it quiet than that. 3 dots at the bottom right, you can change the transition type. So you can have a crossfade. Change the duration of your crossfade. So I want my crossfade to last. Let's have it lasting 1 whole second. Even, you know what? Actually, I prefer half. It's like 0.6 of a second is cool. Transition type here. So you can see if I transition, it's a little fade. Does it fade the graphics as well? No, it doesn't. They just pop on and pop off. But there you go. That's the transitions there. I actually don't mind the transitions type like that. So I'll swap it back to cut for now. Camera assistant, where you can actually choose different cameras and set the time that it will pop between the 3 cameras. So if I turn that on, say I'm doing a guitar show and I'm strumming the guitar and I just want to let it flow by itself, it'll switch. This is all doing it by itself without me touching the camera. So every 3 seconds, it switches over, which I think is pretty cool. I'll turn that off for now. So if you're doing like a solo guitar show, that's a good look. Crop settings, you can change the maximum zoom, the default tap to zoom, the tap and hold delay, slow transitions or fast transitions, everything to adjust how your live edits look. Great idea. Camera input quality. So this is changing the input quality of the camera. I believe this is what's coming into this iPad here that I'm controlling Mevo. So you can choose whether it comes in at 480, 360, or 720, 1080, or 1080 high. Obviously, the higher the setting, the more data will be needed, the more bandwidth will be needed. Video source latency as well. You can adjust the latency. I mean, I don't mind a bit of high latency. It means that if you're pushing the buttons and you're live in a room and somebody says something really funny, you can switch to their camera, and almost means that you kind of get there with perfect timing. Whereas if something happens, sometimes you see it on real live TV, someone cracks a joke, you miss the joke, you miss the funny face or something like that. And you can either go back and get that in post, or if you have a little bit of latency, you actually end up getting people bang on the joke. So I like that. I really, really like that. And then you got the about, the open source licenses, and for extra support, which I'll be contacted after a few of the issues that I had here today. But, you know, like I said, this is a beta version. So that is, in a nutshell, what is going on within the new Mevo multicam setup for the Mevo Start 3-pack. I think this is going to revolutionize the way that we have multicam setups with regards to just ease of use, because this is very, very easy to set up and get going on with. An iPad or even an iPhone, 3 of these little cameras. You don't need necessarily a fancy iPad, a fancy microphone setup. I mean, you could get a lapel and hook that in as well. I mean, there's a Mevo audio app as well, which if you have another device, you can plug that into, that could work as well. So you can have a real good on-road mobile kit. Any questions, you pop that in the comments below, and we will talk to you soon. This is How to Kill an Hour. Make sure you press like and subscribe. I'm at Marcus Bronzy, at MarcusBronzy on all social medias. We're at How to Kill an Hour on all social medias. Any questions you have, feel free to fire them below, and we will answer them as best. I'm actually going to stop now and do a live stream, a live unboxing using this equipment here. So wish me luck with that. Bless.